My name is Shishir Kurup, and I'm going to be directing Water by the Spoonful by Chiara Alegria Udes. And I was here before for Medea, Macbeth, Cinderella. I was the composer and the songwriter for all the Medea songs. And that was my last association with OSF, but this time I'll be directing the play. I'm an old colleague of Bill Rauch's, and that's how we were doing Cornerstone for many years. I'm still there. I keep telling everybody this is my gold watch year. I'm going into my 20th year, and so I began there as a writer-director. I was the first person to direct a Cornerstone play other than Bill. So it's a great little. I think of it as a nice little feather in my cap, so to speak, and. We did lots of plays together, and I write. I'm a playwright and a director and an actor. Primarily, I do acting in the real world, in the world of like television and theater, But I've done a lot of directing and writing also, and composing was the other thing. I wrote lots of songs for the company for many, many years. Still do. This play came along. And I happened to be writing a play about the hunger of addiction. It's one of the Cornerstone got a bunch of Mellon grants, and so I got one of those, and I'm writing. Kind enough Cornerstone to give all these people the grants. Broke it up, and I got one of them. And it's a play about the hunger of addiction. So it just so oddly that Bill called and said, "Hey, I have this play. And it's about addiction." And I said, "Really? I'm doing a lot of research on addiction right now." And it's great to read this play. It's a beautifully crafted and poetic and rich and deep play about isolation and people trying to connect. And one of the things I always talk about, addiction is a way of trying to connect to something, even though what it is actually doing is pushing away that thing. So it's a really interesting conundrum. We do this in life all the time, right? The thing that we want most, we go after it, but in the way we go after it, we push the thing away. And so I think the play's themes are very, I think isolation is one of the big things about it. And I've spoken about this before a little bit, in that people are trying to connect, and one of the ways they connect in this play are through chat rooms. But it's a unique chat room. It's a chat room of, well, not unique, I guess all chat rooms are specific. But this one is about people who are recovering drug and alcohol abusers. People who use the chat room to stay clean and to stay sober. And I realized that just in the process of auditioning this play, one of the actors said to me, "Oh, do you know, by the way, if you're NA, you say," which is Narcotics Anonymous, you say clean. And if you're an alcoholic anonymous person, you say sober. So if somebody, and so it's very clear. So language also distinguishes who you are and what you do and how you are, how you present yourself. And so if you go to an AA meeting and you say you're clean, they know that you're a person who came from NA and is also happens to be at this meeting, and vice versa. So the play is, I think, ultimately about people trying to connect, and I feel like the play is about citizenship, about taking responsibility, about to take responsibility for your fellow man, and we know that it means woman also, but it's that idea of a room. The simplest thing is an Alcoholics Anonymous room, or a Narcotics Anonymous room, or an Overeaters Anonymous, any of the different kinds of anonymity that's necessary to keep people's life, in a way, compartmentalized, but in a way for them to feel safe, to go and express what they're, to get out of the addiction that they're in. So it's the simplicity of a room where people have set up a little coffee and a little bit other addictive things like coffee and sugar and cigarettes, which seem to be okay. I don't know why, but that's one addiction at a time, as they say. But it's that sort of thing where people are taking responsibility for each other. They're neighbors, but not in the geographical way that we think of neighbors. And in this digital world of chat rooms, you could be hundreds in our place case, in one case, thousands of miles apart. But there's a kind of beauty to how that the digital world shrinks the world. How the digital world shrinks the physical world. And so that's the beauty of it. But what is difficult about it is the isolation that it does create, that you can remain in your room and feel connected to the world, and at the same time are working on your addiction on some level. Are there negative aspects to it? Yes, probably, because you're isolating yourself. The play is about heroic care, about heroic citizenship, about quiet lives of desperation, refusing to give in. And that's what I think is really powerful about it.